Saturday, February 24th, 2018. Today we visit the Caribbean island of Barbados, the easternmost island of the West Indies. In 1492, historians believe that Christopher Columbus first landed somewhere in the Bahamas. After Columbus, other Europeans began sailing to the Caribbean. They used the term West Indies to distinguish the region from the East Indies of South Asia. Barbados is considered to be one of the Caribbean's most popular destinations. The west coast is lined with over 10 miles of perfect white sandy beaches with crystal clear water. It has been dubbed the Platinum Coast. All of the beaches are public beaches. Landowners cannot make the beaches in front of their property private. Barbados also prohibits people from wearing camouflage. Robbers dressed in camouflage, making themselves look like the military, once stopped and robbed a tourist bus. After the incident, the government banned camouflage to protect their tourism industry, which is very important to the Barbados economy. After breakfast, Sue and I go on the submarine and island tour shore excursion. We start with a narrated scenic drive around the island. The tour guide tells us about the colonial history of the island. Barbados is mostly a flat coral island. A coral island is formed after a volcanic island erodes back into the sea. Once the landmass is submerged, the coral reef in the shallow water begins to grow into an atoll with a shallow lagoon in the middle. The coral in the lagoon eventually builds up, forming a landmass that is made up of dead coral and other plant material. Within the coral core, there is a vast array of caves and underground lakes, which provide an excellent supply of pure drinking water. As we drive along the coast, we drive past million-dollar mansions right next to tiny rundown shacks. The tour guide tells us that the locals will hold on to their property until they are ready to sell for the right price to developers who tear down the shacks to build expensive homes for the rich. It is typical on many Caribbean islands to see the poor and the rich living side by side. One of the stops is Farley Hill National Park, which was once a sugar plantation. Construction of this mansion began in 1818. It was destroyed by fire in 1965. The property became a national park in 1966, the same year that Barbados gained its independence. Today, the park is used for musical and theater events.
The black-bellied sheep is a European wool sheep cross with a African hair sheep, and they create a Barbados black-bellied sheep. And they're good for their meat.
The grass for us.
So those are sheep. They're not goats. The sheep has its tail down, while the goats has its tail down.
After the bus tour, we go on the Atlantis submarine tour, which is a real submarine that takes us down to see the coral reef. The submarine is licensed to take tourists down to about 150 feet deep, but is capable of over 600 feet deep. To get to the submarine, a tour boat takes us out into the harbor and waits for the submarine to surface, filled with passengers from the previous tour. After the previous tour group exits, we are allowed to climb down into the sub, where we each sit in front of viewing windows. The sub takes us down to about 50 feet to see the coral reef and all the fish and sea creatures that live in the area. Coral reefs are living organisms which are built by colonies of tiny animals. These tiny animals secrete hard carbonate exoskeletons which support and protect the animal living inside. coral reefs provide a home for at least 25% of all marine species. Towards the end of the submarine ride, we go down to about 140 feet deep to see a sunken ship on the bottom of the ocean.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, port side, here we have the Titanic. I heard a lot of laughter. What's wrong? You don't believe me? So of course this is not the Titanic. It is the Lord Willoughby, one of over 200 documented sunken ships that we have around the island. So the Lord Willoughby is 65 feet in length and sits in 120 feet of water.
Submarine.